Hello, everybody, and welcome to Fridays at 5. I'm Karen Taylor of the Color Vowel Chart, joined here by Jennifer Campion, Robin Barr, and a lot of our Color Vowel teachers. Many Fridays, our second and fourth Fridays, we get together for an afternoon of sharing, of community, specifically around what it means to teach English with the Color Vowel approach. Today's theme is show and tell. It's a recurring theme, shows up every few months. And today we're going to focus in on sort of beginning of the school year materials that we use. Okay. Jennifer, can you elaborate on that thought that we had about today's session?
I'm trying to multitask. I was talking with some teachers and at a pronunciation workshop I gave, and one of the teachers said, "What happened to the launch pad?" And I said, "Nothing happened to the launch pad." She's, "You never talk about it anymore. Are you getting rid of it?" And so Karen and I were talking, and every once in a while, I think it's good to get back sort of to basics, and not just basics in time of training, but also those basic tools that we use when we're teaching with the color vowel approach. And so we're gonna go back and revisit some of the products that we have and see, sort of review what we can do with them, but also see what are you guys doing with them that's kind of new and innovative. So
yeah. So when it comes to materials, we've got the basics. This is the poster, just a show of hands for those of you that I can see. Raise a hand or a virtual hand if you have a poster and you find it useful. All right. You might think, well, we all have posters, we just use them, but how do you use them? That'll be a question that you might raise answer over in the breakout room we're about to create. What are some other materials? Well, I've got these image cards that for me are just a constant, always at arm's length. So who uses image cards? Anybody? Yeah. Great way to break out, just a single vowel sound. I'm feeling fantastic, and would you like to join me whenever? So that'll be another breakout room talking about really how we use, or how you use, the image cards. Okay. Another core tool that a lot of teachers like, that Jennifer just mentioned, is our launch pad. Who uses the launch pad? Some, not all. So maybe you're wondering, what could we do with the launch pad? Okay. So that will be a third breakout room shortly. We'll have some time to talk first. And then what am I missing? The game, right? We've got our game, Color It Out. Does anybody have their cards handy? Mine seem to have jumped. Here they are. Ta-da! Right. So we have the game Color It Out, handy for both virtual and face-to-face teaching, if you use it in different ways, right? Anything else that you consider a core material? Speak up. Something that you use all the time. Skip.
I use just started using the organizer, really getting words in. So that Color Vowel organizer. So that's one of their homework assignments this weekend. Find 20 nouns.
Yeah, talk about basics. There I am showing all these other things and forgetting the most basic, which is our Color Vowel organizer. Any others that you would raise as sort of your go-to, something you use often that we should be sharing today?
I think the flooding charts also, like you have the wall. In the old days, you had the wall charts, and I made those. It has the icon at the top.
Something like this.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, this is in fact an old one. You can see from the photo. So it's before we had our iconic images. And so now we're breaking into teacher-made materials, things that you organically create during class. It's not all about products we have in the store. It's really what you do with it. So this was born, I'll just say, this was born of a teacher in Oregon who was starting to do this back, I would say 2010, 2011. And she started using the images and collecting words, and that's what evolved into the wall chart. This is available in the teachers library for those who are level 1 trained and above. We have those printable, not with the words, right? So it's just blank when you get it. But I know Dr. Barr, you use it with Post-its. Some people print it every time.
Post-its are
right
such
on
a
it.
great invention because you can just pull them off and hand them out and put them, and they put them back on. It's great.
Great, great. Anything else you use? Margaret?
Well, I have a lot of materials, but they're all online. I do nothing but online. So they're all virtual. I don't know how I could do a virtual link here. Is
Well,
there a way
we'll
to,
have a chance to share, and you can experiment to just see if you do a screen share and show them.
I could do a screen share. Yes, go
Yeah.
ahead with other people while I get another window up then.
Good, yeah, you can
I
prepare for
actually-
that.
I use like a Jamboard, like I've been using that for names, like the beginning of school year. So putting their name in the little categories there. So the Jamboard. Yeah.
Good.
It's
Hey,
Shirley.
I want to welcome Shirley. Hi, Shirley. Good to see you.
Hi,
Just down the road, but we haven't seen each other in so long. So here she is.
I know.
Yeah. We're just talking about materials, and what I'm hearing, this is kind of reminds me of these unconferences we've talked about in the past. I'm starting to get a sense we've got a discussion about, say, the materials we provide to teachers, like our book. Did anybody think about the book? When was the last time anybody touched the book? I'm curious. We're talking about the color vowel approach, which looks like this. It's part of the teacher starter kit. Has anybody taken a read or used it lately by opening it up to a page?
I did. I tried the states activity for the first time this week, and that's how I started off with color vowels.
Which activity was that?
The U.S. states and the
Oh.
numbers of syllables and stress, the
That's
stress
right.
activity.
Yeah, that's the stress, one of the 3 core activities in there. And that's the stress discovery activity that we outline. Really, it's like a detailed lesson plan, isn't it, Sarah?
Yes, it's great.
We're able to just kind of follow it step by step.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
I use what color is your name? Although I haven't actually looked it up in the book recently, but I use that a lot with my dyslexic English speaking students.
Mhm, mhm. Great.
And it's hard for them. They have difficulty with that.
Great. And then Gilson mentions here in the chat that he uses online materials. And so, yeah, we do. We have a wide array of online materials available. I think what we'll do, because we're always trying to find ways to use our time together on a Friday, is we were thinking we would divide into breakout rooms by choice. These are going to be rooms you can just decide where you want to go. And this is my own Zoom breakout room skills in action. I'm going to create these rooms. And the first room is going to be renamed to the poster, innovative, or just ways you use the poster. Does anybody think they might go to that room? Let's figure out what the rooms are. Poster. So I'll call that poster. There's one that'll be called image cards. So we're going to stick with kind of the first level materials for this first breakout. And then we'll do another breakout of things you're doing that's beyond maybe our materials. So second one is image cards. And third is, what do you think? Poster? Yeah?
Launchpad.
Launchpad. All right, there we go. All right, this is just going to be a first go. So we have 3 rooms. You can decide where you're going. And if you have something you'd like to share, it's mostly going to be verbal, but if you're ready to do some screen sharing, you're welcome to. But it's about what do we think? About a 5-minute session, and you can come and go if you need to. But we'll just kind of go to a room that you are interested in and have a talk about what you all are doing with that material. Does that sound like something we can do? Oh, hi, Margaret.
I found the screen share.
Oh, thanks. Can you
So-
save that for right after the breakouts?
Yeah, I sure
That's great.
can. I can
That's great.
unscreen share.
Wonderful. Good. Then we'll get there. And anyone else who's planning to screen share and share what they're doing, we'll have a second part of our meeting today where we do a bit of that, either in groups or together. Okay. So do we know what we want to do? You have an idea? Okay.
Yep.
Go to one of our rooms. I'm opening those rooms, about 5 minutes. We'll see how it goes. We'll visit. We'll circulate. Off we go.
And if you can't choose your room, let us know and we'll put you into one.
That's right.
If Karen makes me co-host.
Oh, I will do that. And I'm actually going to stop recording too. We still have looks like the Launchpad group, they're deep in conversation. Coming back. All right. Welcome back, everybody. We've been in breakout rooms talking about different ways that we really make the most of these very basic materials. And as each group starts thinking how they're going to share out some key highlights, I'll just say, you know, Shirley and I for a long time have spent our energies on keeping things minimal. Wouldn't you agree, Shirley? You know, like we always said, we don't want to be a box of stuff. We don't want to be a bunch of feathers and rubber bands and 20 other tools. We want to be the minimum number of things that a teacher needs to carry around with them. And so that's why there aren't that many different things that we, you know, produce. Instead, we'll have our second breakout shortly of what it is that you do after that. And that's the craft of the teacher. Okay. So right now we're focusing in on these Color Vowel produced materials, namely the image cards, the poster, and the Launchpad. Those are three that we chose just now. There are a few other things, the game, you know, but for now, let's hear from our groups. Who was the poster group and what were some highlights? Let's keep it down to, you know, a couple minutes, but some key highlights that you want to share with other teachers. Any volunteers from that group who'd like to synthesize that for us? No volunteers. Everyone's feeling shy. Well, Shirley, you were in that group, weren't you?
I know, but I didn't want it to be me.
Okay.
Anna, you want to do it?
Okay, so yeah, we had like the most experienced person, Shirley. We went from her to, is it V?
Yeah, that's right.
V, who hasn't even taken the course yet, but she's like starting up.
Hey, I'm so glad to see you here.
We
V.
went through they had the entire continuum and stuff. So V is completely online, so she has a completely different experience. As Shirley was talking about yoga and stuff, I was thinking, oh my gosh, I really miss being in person, like doing all of those things with the big poster like you have behind you on the foam board, you know, charts all over the place. But it is still doable. You can still do it online. So the black and white poster is also still handy. And like talk about minimal and carrying stuff around. I used to carry around that foam board, you know, to do the different schools, took up my whole trunk. But then I got this. I really like this. It's like a little pouch. It's a pouch through that red bubble, you know, like, and so all of the stuff fits in here, the card games, the magnets, the whole nine.
Ah, good. Yeah.
That's a winner.
Wow.
That's a winner.
Yeah.
And even online, I can hold it up.
Mhm. Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah, perfect size.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll share that link with you, everybody. So
Not even talk about it, and you know, and students are like, "What is that? Like, what kind of decoration is that?"
Mhm.
So it's more of a curiosity.
oh, I love that. I have to interject and just mention, you know, some folks have heard me talk about the work I've done with young learners, 3 and 4 and 5-year-olds in the Montessori school that my kids went to. But that idea that you just hold it up and they say, well, wait, what is that thing? You know, the curiosity piece. In those classrooms, those little Montessori classrooms, we simply put the chart up on this little low bookshelf. And it was amazing what 3, 4, and 5-year-olds can ask when they look at something that's so curious looking, you know, and they asked important questions. It was very profound. So by doing something just conspicuous, like, oh, here's my pencil case, you know, what is that? I love that. That's great. Now I'll invite more comments, please. What else did you all touch on? Well, let's move along. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, Shirley.
No, we were just talking about the physical problem of if you don't have, like Anna was saying, she doesn't have a wall right behind her, and how do you get the poster up behind you? And I was noticing, Nancy, you have one. How was yours set up?
just a tripod.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
A tripod, okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's it.
Music stand.
Ah.
Or in
They
painting,
can move everywhere.
paint-
Yeah.
a painting easel works too. And you can buy really inexpensive ones.
Wonderful. Yeah, and I've just put a link up for everybody, and I want you to know the two ways that our shop works. We have actually two shops, if you want to think of it that way. The first is when you scroll down and see our traditional manufactured materials. That's where you can get the game or a class set of the game. That's where you get our teacher starter kit with the book. It comes in a digital version as well. If you're outside the US, we recommend that. But then if you scroll back up to this thing that just looks like a nice graphic, it's actually a link to our Redbubble gallery. And this is wonderful because we're able to design materials. Laura does this, Laura McIndoe. She designs new products that we're not manufacturing in advance. And if anybody's a business, you know how much monetary risk it is to manufacture something and then hope that it sells. So we don't have to manufacture these goods, and all kinds of things are here. Magnets that were piloted here by folks like Now and others. These are teacher innovated materials that then we made available on a larger scale because we knew that this worked for teachers because of you, right? So just know that this is here, and that includes the pouch that Anna just showed you.
Where is
So
it?
where is it?
I want one.
If you come down on just a little hint about Redbubble, if you're here at the top and you explore designs, it can, these guys, this top nav will take you to all kinds of artists. So if you're looking for color vowel things, come down the left side and come down to these things here, okay? And then you can start to see, what is on the different digital art items and so forth. It's a little tricky to navigate, but you'll get the hang of it. You can explore designs and see what they're printed on. And I think for Anna, as we came down, she took
Different pouches. There were different sizes. This is the biggest one.
there. This is a pouch, laptop, zipper pouch. There it is.
There
Okay.
it is.
And you can do it in small, medium,
This is
or
the
large.
Mhm.
You like the zipper? Does the zipper work?
yeah, it has a zipper on the top. I had to use a little DW40 on it, but it worked.
Okay. So these are the things we care about. We're all teachers. We know like how these little things make a difference. Wonderful.
Karen, can I say something else too? That if you go to the Redbubble website, it's kind of hard to find the Color Vowel stuff. I found it's much easier to go to the Color Vowel website and click on the Redbubble, and then you get just to the Color Vowel merch, as they say.
That's right. That's right. Exactly. And if you happen to be an artist like Shirley is, you do your own actual art, that's really what Redbubble, I would say, excels at. You can take your artistic images and have them basically available on, tote bags and whatnot. So, just putting that out there for the artists out there. And Shirley does some beautiful work that deserves to be out there in the field. Okay. Wonderful.
Thank you, Karen.
Yeah. We had a second group talking about, remind me, image cards, image card group. What kinds of things did you share? Robin?
We had, let's see, I could divide it into online versus in-person type activities. And the in-person ones, in addition to the usual, hold up the card and this or give the student a card and they hold it up when you say that vowel or whatever it is that are already in the book. We did my favorite little menagerie stuff. I deal out all the cards, and then we pass around little toys, and they put the toy on the card that matches, so tiger will go on white tie and so forth. And then when we accumulate a bunch of stuff on each card, then we flood that card color with all the names. And somebody else said that they use the cards as a header on the floor, so maybe they just take a few colors, and then the students will put the words in that column on the floor, so that they're sorting different words. Then we had some online ideas. Paul uses these as a header for like a gallery of like a word wall, except he uses the color vowel game, the color it out game, to get particular words, and he overlaps them, and then he takes a picture of them with the color word at the top, and that makes a nice display. And now can you show us what you have? Now has adapted her cards, but not in a permanent way.
I'm going to spotlight you. There we go. That way we know that, we can see.
So, and for especially Japanese people, so these two vowels or these two vowels are nightmare, but the most nightmare thing is these three things. So, and I sure like my students know that anchor phrase and the sound, but actually, like I said, this one is ah, and this one is ah, this one is ah. So what's the difference? No, we can't feel any difference. Like just here, and they have like ah, Japanese ah, but like this and this one, cup and the cup and the cap, and these words, and you can hear the difference. Yes, and they say yes. See, here's the difference, like that. So, and it's easier to understand the difference among these, especially these three. So I use just the vowel sound and kind of minimal pair.
Yeah. No, it's
Show how
awesome.
show how it's attached. I think this is really cool.
Yeah.
So show how you peel it off.
Yeah.
So that's a kind of dangerous thing.
So she just tapes it on.
Take the-
Yeah. So she prints out the card with a little logo on it, and then
Yeah,
it
here.
matches. Yeah.
And underline.
Beautiful. It almost makes me, I have to say, this excites me. She now showed this to me last week. I think we were having a conversation, and it really, it made me think of a triangle, or really a 3D triangle of the image. I'll stop the spotlight so you can see me, of the image on one part of this triangle, the cup of mustard on the next one, and then a keyword like cup on the third. Just that, I mean, the things we could create if things were limitless, right? But just what you've done there is so innovative now. Great.
But we discussed how the cards are hard to manipulate online because you can't really hold more than 2 or 3 at a time. But Teresa, I think you were saying that when you do chants, if you only have 1 or 2 cards, then you can put the relevant card up on the stressed syllable, and that cues the students. But it's hard. You can't have all 15 in your hands at once. You gotta just go with what you need.
Wonderful. Hey, so lots of good ideas. We end up kind of toggling these things around, and but I think when we run out of hands, it's a reminder about remaining minimal. Remember, we need to remain minimal, and thank goodness we only have 2 hands, because then we be holding everything up at the same time. So minimizing the cognitive load, you'll always hear me talk about that, but it's so important. We get so excited, and we have to create silence in our hands as well as with the sound. We had a third group talking about the Launchpad. Who are our Launchpad people? Can we raise a hands? Great. Any volunteer who wants to synthesize or summarize what you talked about there? Nancy?
Now, Gilson was the last, he was sharing, and then we have to break the room, but he can continue.
Gilson?
Yeah, Gilson. Is he there?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I was talking about my experience online, and I use Color Vowel Organizer to show how or where is the stress in some words, but only online, because I go back to school in person 2 years ago, only 2 years ago, and I was teaching only online. Maybe I can show how I use the pad online. Can I share?
Sure. And we're going to aim to keep it a little brief, because Jennifer is madly working on a resource that we want to share with you that you'll all be very excited about. So we're going to do about a 2-minute share. Okay, Gilson? That'd be great. Go ahead.
Mm,
You're working on that. As you're
oh,
getting
it's-
that up, take your time. That's okay. Do we have other comments on the launch pads? Remember that we have a lesson, what I call a lesson plan. It's an oral lesson plan that I've videoed for you. That's right over there in the shop. So if you go to the shop as if you were going to buy the launch pad, you'll see a video there from me where I just walk you through what we had in mind when we developed the launch pad. And raise your hand if you were involved in the development of the Launchpad. We did this as a teacher-built product. Anna, you were involved. You answered a survey and had opinions about how to use it. Do you remember that? Years ago. See, so it's just to say that what we do is not just done in isolation. We almost always poll our teachers or invite some of our more experienced teachers to say what they need. So down to how everything's laid out is teacher built and teacher let's say piloted, and then we've come back. So Gilson, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Great.
Mm,
Yeah.
Ah.
Can you all see it?
We can see it.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, here I have the pad, and this, for example, let me take the black cat word here. For us Brazilian speakers, it's so hard to think about the sound, and then I use double for us to pronounce this word. For example, land. If I teach my students sound, they will use this vowel like this, land, and I teach sound, red, black, cat, land, and family. I show these double vowels, like in green tea, E, because this is a move vowel sound, and sounds better. Teach it like green tea, E, and speak and need. I use double vowels instead one I. Yeah.
You know, this is fabulous. I'm looking at now again because we had such a great conversation last week where she did something somewhat similar, didn't you now, with Japanese connections for the learner, right? So this is something that in each country where you're using the chart, you know, V, I'm thinking of you, for example, right? I think you work with a lot with Vietnamese learners, is that right?
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
so you would do your same kind of that bridge that you're building.
Mhm.
If you work with a particular language group, you want them to make that connection.
That's right.
Yeah, and so if all of you are curious, I put a note here in the chat that Gilson is using Canva for this graphic. He's, you know, it's wonderful, and you can create graphic materials low cost online easily. You no longer have to do InDesign or any of Photoshop. No. Canva, super easy. And so part of what Gilson's process has been is to share these in our Color Vowel community. We've loved that process. And Gilson and Shirley, you've worked together a little bit on some of the kind of shaping you can do to get it to be, you know, as learner friendly and accurate as possible. So it's, again, I'm so excited about this collaboration that we've created among our teachers. So as you do create materials, we'll have more of these opportunities. As I mentioned, I'm always watching the time. We try to keep this, you know, 1 hour on our Friday. This is the perfect jumping point to what we want to share with you. And thank you so much, Gilson. Can we have some applause for him? This is fabulous, right?
Okay, thank you. Stop.
Is that we could take the next 15 minutes to share all the things that you're doing. And I have videos that were sent to me by people who couldn't attend today, but we have time, you know, it's not the only Friday, because what I realized is we need more of a platform where we can do this. And so it was beautiful, Neri, I agree. Is that Jennifer has been madly on the back end creating a canvas space, a brand new canvas space that we're calling the Color Vowel Maker Space. If you're familiar with the phrase maker space, it was brought to us by one of our own. It's an emerging term in tech and education. where you have a space online. You can post things you're working on, get feedback from other educators, go pilot it, come back and share it as a fully finished product for each other. And it's just been begging to happen. And today, when you went to your breakout rooms, this is how fast we work. Jennifer said, we need a place where people can share beyond the 1 hour session. And so that's what she's launching right now. And I'm wondering if I'm watching her black box and her mute, and I'm wondering if she's ready yet. But that's what's coming, whether or not
just a couple minutes, just a couple minutes.
Well, this might
we
be
work
a
like
lot
lights
easier.
here.
This might be much easier than what we had been doing, was trying to post things on the Facebook page or on the Color Vowel website. This is a lot easier to put up ourselves instead of having to go through you to put it up.
That's right. And I think it'll free up space on our Facebook page. First of all, not everybody uses Facebook. And, those of us in Facebook like to think that everybody's there, but we're not. This Canvas space will be available to all. It will democratize sort of the voices of our Color Vowel teachers to one place. It's accessible to our teachers who are in China. There's all kinds of great advantages to it. And so just know that if you've ever studied with us, you've already been in Canvas with us, and it would simply be another course card. Okay. Now, hi.
Yeah, sorry. So if we have a little time, I'd like to watch that Margaret was trying to show. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Thank you. And well noted.
Okay.
But one moment, if what we can do, let's go ahead and do Margaret now. And again, kind of like Gilson, we're going to do a 2-minute share, and then we're going to take that as our thread over to our new makerspace and see what we could do with it. Okay. Wonderful.
Okay. Well, you can always go back and see this anytime. It's, I made it as a chant, but it also does rhyme, because anytime I get a rhythm going, I can't help it. I want to rhyme. And I use this where I, the teacher, say the left and my students say the right. I've only ever had a one-on-one student, even though the 2 students are adults and know each other. They've never been in a class together. And I'm about to get a 3rd student that's also in their group. I'd love to try it with a group. So it goes: green tea, a bee sees me, silver pin, I grin and win, and so on. If you ever want to see it, I've got a portfolio page at lingopractico.com, and it's under, what is it under? It's under phonetics, dialogues, chants, and exercises. And then I've got a group of poems. Let's do I'll just show you the silver pin. Come on, chart. It is not. Yes, it is. Just a bit slow. And this is more of a flooding. You could just do all the min, bin, kin, in, end words to flood if you wanted. But some of these poems work better as a chant and some don't. Just depends. Good morning, Min. So how ya been? Almost a chant, not quite. Anywho, I think I've taken up my 2 minutes. And if you ever want to see them, remember lingopractico.com is my website.
Great. You can put that in the chat. Thank you, Margaret. That's great.
Welcome.
Yeah. And so a lot of what we do is, and this is a nice jumping off point, Margaret, I appreciate that, is that we all know that the best materials are materials that we've piloted, that we've shared with another teacher, that we've gotten feedback from, and we keep shaping. And at least that's what I found in my experience. And so with no further ado, because we're so excited, I turn it over to Jennifer, who is creating that space where we can do that.
Okay, so now this was just born. So please bear with me here. This is going to live on Canvas, and it's not going to be a place where you have to pay to, at least not for now. You won't have to pay to get on. That we will have a link, and Karen and I will have to talk about exactly how we share that link with you all. But basically, you'll be self-enrolling into this course, but really just this maker space site on Canvas. So let me share my screen.
As Jennifer's sharing that, I think I can already, you're watching this in real time happen. I think we can all agree we want everyone to be minimally color vowel trained, right? So that we're working with materials that we all know what the principles are. And so it might be the same set of criteria that is the criteria for membership in the Color Vowel community. And so that's pretty easy, right? Which is simply ownership of the book. If you have the teacher starter kit, you have the book or any of those materials with the book in it. Okay. These are so many courses we have available in our Canvas, Jennifer. You've done an amazing job since January. We've been building this space. Pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah. So I've modeled this on the Blue Canoe pilot program space. So this is a new user support site that we've created for teachers who are using Blue Canoe. And if you'd like to know more of that, I'll let Karen speak on that. So here it is. So when you self-enroll, you'll see this card appear on your dashboard. Of course, you're not going to have all of these cards. You will all have cards only for the courses you've enrolled in. And so you'll click on there and it'll bring you right into our home space. And as I said, this is, it's a pardon our dust. We'll be adding graphics, we'll be adding explanations and information, but it's going to be, let me go to student view, which is what you'll see. It's going to be pretty simple. There will be this home button, which will bring you to this page. And we'll try to have navigation right here so that, you can navigate from here or you can navigate over here. There will be a discussions button and a files button, and the files option will take you to files of, and we'll try to arrange everything in folders. So we'll have lesson plan folders, we'll have organizer folders, vocabulary folders, reading folders, whatever starts to organically develop. We'll try to put them in, organize it so you can find things easily. Now, I've linked the copyright terms of use that's on our website. So before you submit something, make sure that you go and check that you've followed all of the copyright suggestions, regulations. So if you're using any of the Color Vowel images, if you're using a copy of the chart, whatever in your materials that you submit, make sure that you have the correct copyright statement attribution at the bottom.
Yeah.
So right now, there's not a whole lot other than the discussion board. And at the very top, we'll pin explanations of how you submit materials. And so right now, if you click on that, it just says, we don't have any yet, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
I mean, when was the last time you were part of a live launch of a thing that was created in 15 minutes? Huh?
Wow.
Because of you.
This is how we roll at Color Vowel. And then you will have the ability to start your own discussion threads. So if there's something, a burning issue that you think needs to be discussed among the community, you can start your own discussion thread, or you can find one that already exists and then just go in and type. So right now I just have, for example, questions about teaching with Color Vowel, and just all you need to do is click on reply, and you can type in here, you can record a video, you can upload things. So our main idea when Karen and I kind of talked about this. I think it was last week, Karen, we
Yes.
talked about it as an idea that started to evolve. And we talked about how we'd like people to submit things, give us a little bit of an explanation of how they think it should be used or could be used. We would take a look at it if we felt like, maybe there needed to be some changes to the copyright statement, or if we found any, glaring errors or anything, that we would, be able to give you some feedback on that. And then we would go ahead and post it to the community, and, and people will be able to give you likes and, talk about, give comments and suggestions and feedback on it. So anyway, that is sort of our view. It'll be like the digital library, and I'll talk with Karen about whether or not she wants to move all of the things that are currently residing in the digital library to here. And but it'll be an interactive digital library. So, and one that you will be very easy, it'll be easy for you to contribute to. So
Great comments. You must have lots of thoughts here. First of all, I think we see applause. Yeah, some good ideas there. Any
have a
ideas?
question.
Like, what are you thinking?
My first question is, how do we know when somebody posts something? Will there be some kind of a notification?
I can take that.
Yeah.
So when you join a course in Canvas, you can go and modify your profile, and you can pick what notifications you get. And Canvas sends a lot of notifications, but if you want to know when something's posted in discussions, and I'm not quite sure where all of these materials will be living, but you can ask Canvas to notify you, or just come in and check. When you come in to let me go back here. When you come into Canvas, and let me get out of student view and go back to the dashboard. When you come in, there are these little icons down here at the bottom, and right now none of them are lit up, but this is the little discussions icon. And if there are discussion posts that you have not viewed yet, there will be a little number there. And there's also there's another little icon, which I don't have right now, for announcements. And if there's an announcement that you haven't seen, it'll have a little number on it. And in fact, when you come into discussions, over here on the right-hand side, there will be a little blue
dot.
Yeah, sort of dots, and it'll have two numbers. One number is the total number of posts, and the other will be the first number is the number of posts that you haven't read yet. So, so that very easily you can come in and see if there's anything new that you haven't seen yet.
Great. Thank you so much, Jennifer. This is great. We find the reason it was easy to make this move today while you went to that discussion group is that there's this moment that Jennifer and I, and Shirley and I have always felt like when something starts building and then it has to flip into something that's more manageable. And so that was today. That's exactly what happened. That teacher's library on our website, it's tricky to maintain. It's very finicky about, how you post it, and it doesn't allow any feedback. So now today it just made perfect sense, right? So I'm really excited about this, and we'll be seeing what we move from the library versus what we do. I mean, there's still a lot to think about, but that space is up and running for you. If you didn't get to share something today that you now realize is going to be, very popular with the group or with anybody, go ahead and post it over there as soon as we get that link out to you. Expect something, Monday, something like that.
Monday.
Yeah, I mean, the baby has to be kind of
No
held and
pressure,
cuddled for
Jennifer.
a moment.
No
It was
pressure,
just
Jennifer.
born, so.
I know what I'm doing this weekend.
I mean, it's a good thing you have so much free time, Jennifer, that you can start something new.
Yeah, I didn't say Monday morning. It was like Monday night.
Reception on Friday, delivery on Monday.
That's right. That's right. Exactly. It's a very quick incubation there.
You'll
so-
see it like, for the next few weeks, even the next month. Every time you come in, it'll look a little bit different and you might have to reacclimate a little bit, but we'll try and, not confuse you too much.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Sure. And go ahead. And then we'll answer another question I just received. Yeah. Hi, Mark.
Hey, I don't know if my video is working, but anyhow,
Yeah.
It is, we see.
what
you.
if the things we want to talk about are not color vowel related? Because, for example, last 24 hours I spent more time than I care to admit documenting some plagiarism by a student, and I've never really been trained in how to deal with plagiarism or how to think about the cultural aspects of it or
Yeah.
how to teach around it.
That's a great
So would that
question.
be something we could throw into a Canvas discussion, or is that not considered?
It's not that I wouldn't say that it's not that we don't want to deal with it, but I think there are broader groups that are available for that. And for that, I immediately think of TESOL. I don't know if anyone else is thinking the same way, but there are rich discussions in the TESOL communities with people who are very knowledgeable and experienced with these kinds of topics. And so I think if I were coming with a topic that, writing and plagiarism is probably better addressed by a broader group. You can certainly, we'd like to stay focused in our Facebook community on Color Vowel, and I think that's sort of what we do in general. So if you can find an oral connection to it, oral. One of the few times, by the way, Dr. Barr, that I make a distinction between Olive and Auburn.
I know, I was just thinking about you the other day because I'm wondering if that's real or not, but go ahead.
But it's funny, I do it, oral, Orange and Auburn. But in any case, Mark, I think that's where you'll find a wide range of sort of collective wisdom about the topic there. Okay. I thank you for that question. And there are lots of those kinds of questions. Mark and I talked recently about some of the emotional attacks of working with refugees or of, working with adult students who face crisis situations. Those are also, I'm going to say now, TESOL is an immense resource, and being a member of TESOL is a good idea for any teacher.
I don't want something immense. I want something small and cozy with people I've known for a long time.
That's a good point. So we're so awesome. We want to bridge out into other topics. I think we could probably find a place in Canvas for off-topic topics. How about that? Okay.
Off topic, yeah.
I mean, how can I say no to that? But I do want to address one other question that came up, which was about the concept of training and how you get into Canvas and so forth. And that is, Shirley and I started off by 2001, 2002, we were already presenting back then. And, we have teachers who know us from 2003 or 4 who feel that moment was a training, but know that what we've done in the years since then has evolved into a leveled curriculum. So if you come to the table with some amount of exposure to our work in Color Vowel through a conference, presentation, or maybe somebody else's presentation, you'll want to be aware of the journey that we have available and in place and ready for you. So you'll want to go to our website and just kind of familiarize yourself with the requirements of certain parts of our journey. This is our training page with a special subpage called Courses for Certification. I'm posting it over here in the chat right now as we speak. And there you'll find 2 versions of the same journey map. One is a printable PDF, and it's also typable. So you can type directly into it, right there with your date and so forth. but it's a handy checklist that helps you know where you are in your journey. Okay. And then that same journey is spelled out thanks to Laura's beautiful work. Laura's, our colleague who does all of the graphic work for Color It Out and a lot of the work you see on our website. And so we've got the journey spelled out, and you can find where you are, right? You might be a community member who may have been exposed to color values. You know about it. Maybe you use it. But then we enter the journey with level 1. So that's some of the information I've just put in the chat, is that our next level 1 cert course is starting up in October on the 6th. It's an evening course this time around on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. And we'd love to see you there. If you missed out on my recent free webinar intro, we just posted it up. You can reach me and we'll send you a link to it because it's a private link to that webinar. We do have a promo code if that helps you make that decision, okay? But that's just a little bit about learning what we have available. We also have a more economical available called FAST, that is just the recorded modules of our level 1 training, so that you can come back at another time to complete with the live training and practicum, okay? Those of you who have done the full day, if you have a certificate from us, then you have received that level 1 training, but it must be a level 1 basics certificate that says level 1 on it. So that's just a little bit there. It's a way of us making sure that we keep evolving, we keep growing our method to be responsive. We listen to our teachers and we keep growing, okay? I want to thank everybody for coming today. It is a minute after the hour. We used our hour well. Yeah, I think we all deserve a little visual applause for ourselves. And know that we do this 2nd and 4th Fridays now. It used to be every Friday last year. Remember those days? A little bit of love. That was like a pretty special time. But we do need to get out. We need to get social. I cried last week when I saw people and talked to them. So I know I need to grow my social muscles face to face. I think we all do. I hope you have a lovely weekend and a wonderful next Friday. We do have Thursdays, our pure English practice this coming Thursday night. Join us. I'm going to start using StoryCorps as a sort of a jumping off point. So watch for a different kind of email this time around. Something you might be able to share with your learners in advance of the Thursday night pure English practice.
What are we doing 2 weeks from today?
2 weeks from today. It's funny you should ask. 2 weeks from today is Ask the Linguist with Dr. Barr. So please come. We had a profound question from Doug earlier today that's already swept the internet, Doug. And we're just going to leave it with you with the caveat to Dr. Barr before I say it of do not say anything. And the question is, Doug?
Oh, that was the question about, and one of the lines in my reader's theater script was,
What color is
What color is
All right, so that's the profound question. It'll be addressed next week. Dr. Barr gets to think about that. And so what color is Have a weekend, and we'll see you again soon, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Be well, be safe.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.